I don't know if it's overrated because I don't know I don't know what the rating is, but okay. Um,
I guess that's true.
is it?
It's only overrated if it's a highly rated movie. Welcome to this week's episode of Trees in Space. I'm Nate, and with me, as always, is Jason. And this week we watched the 2006 comedy Grandma's Boy.
We did, and I'm glad that you picked this out. Uh, I watched it maybe not right when it came out, but I enjoyed it then, and I'm glad that you decided to watch this.
I forgot how laugh out loud funny this movie is. Even after seeing it time after time, I still forgot like Kevin Nash was in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I forgot that Rob Schneider was in this movie. So there was, and even freaking what's his nuts? He is Shiloh. He was in
Shiloh.
Just Shoot Me.
Oh, yes, he was
David
the
Spade.
yeah, David Spade. He was
Yeah,
yes.
totally forgot that those cameos were there, but it makes sense for a Happy Madison movie, right?
It does, and he was they were bullying Shallow. I mean, they should probably get canceled right now if it came out in 2024. You can't bully someone just because they're a
Oh my!
vegan.
Nice karma, guy blow.
Before
Um,
we get into that, for those at home that are wondering what the hell are these guys talking about, well, Grandma's Boy is a fun stoner comedy that features Alex, a video game tester who got evicted from his house and ends up living with his grandma and her two roommates.
exactly, and it does say it's a stoner comedy, even though I don't remember it being a stoner type movie. Even though there's people getting stoned in it, but to me, a stoner movie is about being high, about the
Like
movie's about.
Pineapple Express.
Yes, it's about that. This is not. This is just about a movie about some people get high, but the movie wasn't about being high.
No, I mean, marijuana was definitely center stage, kind of
It was
like,
definitely.
or like the second main character of the movie because Alex seemed baked 100% of the time. I don't know if he just has sunken in eyes or is just a natural bloodshot, but the entire movie he seemed like he was baked.
Yeah, well, his drug dealer, his dope dealer, I can't remember. He's plays in all Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Um, he was always baked.
Oh my God, so baked. He was putting his Christmas tree in July.
He's like, it's July. Are you serious? Why aren't you wearing no pants? Oh, I ain't wearing any pants.
I am naked. Come
He
on
might have been the
in. He
best
doesn't
thing
even
about the
put clothes
movie.
back on.
Yeah, he never does. He never gets dressed.
Nope, not until his roommate, Dr.
Um,
Shaka something.
yeah. First thing he said was, oh. It's like, yeah, I've never been much for these type of movies for the most part. I mean, there's a few
Sure.
of them that I really like, and this is one of the exceptions because, as I said to you before, even though the acting was not great, um, there's just something very humorous and wholehearted, I guess, about it's so simple.
Right. I think what also works is you say the acting wasn't great, but the chemistry was between the
Okay, good
cast
point. Yeah.
because it seemed like everybody fit in well. And I loved how I even forgot Jonah Hill was in this movie.
Oh no, yeah, this is before he was anyone.
Right. And for the for the record, this was also Nick Swartson's first movie. The one
Okay,
with car
Jeff.
bed?
Okay, that was the roommate or the son, the one who had the car bed.
Yes.
Okay. Someone needs to explain the writing on him. And the reason I'm saying that is because they introduce him wearing a PJs, one
Mm-hmm.
piece PJ, little onesie, and he's sleeping in a car bed. And he's talking about his roommates, which is his parents. But he's stunted growth, right? But after the next morning, after that, they're at the office. He doesn't act like a stunted growth individual. He's cracking, burning, making jokes at the main character about what he did to his mom, like where's the doll, and he doesn't sound like he's stunted at all. So it's like they
I
just
think he would be considered like an alpha nerd or like
okay,
an alpha virgin, where you don't understand why he's a virgin because he's confident
right.
amongst his own kind, but he's confident in the fact that he's great at video games. Uh, but outside of that, I think is where he kind of gets twisted because he's what, probably 30 in this movie.
I would think so. And I just didn't. It's really weird. And I'm going to get to this point later on in the movie, later on in the review, because of what I remembered. But his character, he's so funny. He's cracking so many jokes. He's saying like, this is not what somebody who lives with his parents and sleeps in a car bed and sleeps with stuffed animals would act like in the real world. It didn't mesh for me. But besides that, it was fine.
I believed in it. I was able to believe in it enough that it was like, okay. And I thought it was humorous where he would be like, I almost wonder if he gained confidence because of Alex.
He may. He may very well gain confidence because Alex is a wingman. He's just hype man. He does everything for him.
Yeah.
Um, and let's get to the main part of the movie. We talk about how he's a game developer tester. That's what these are, the testers.
Yep.
And he's living with his grandparents, but he don't want to tell his nerd friends he's living with his grandparents. So he just said, or his grandmother and her two friends. So he says, I have a date tonight with 3 women, and they won't give me no rest.
Right. There and he's like, they won't stop watching porn. It's Antiques Roadshow.
And I love Antiques Roadshow.
And the other part to this movie is they introduce Samantha, who is absolutely stunning, and cute and quirky and fits this movie wonderfully. Again, I think all in all, the casting was really well put, but she's there to make sure that this game by JP called Eternal Deathslayer 3 gets released on time. And that
JP is the antagonist or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the asshole, the one that no one likes, and they bully him too.
Wow, JP, that is a great outfit. How much do clothes cost in the Matrix?
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, he doesn't even know what
the
the Civil War was,
right,
or who invented the helicopter, but he's got one.
but I was going to say the exact thing. But I think I started laughing and smiling early on in this movie, and I remember this one part I thought was great where he's sleeping in the woman's bed who died, and he's in the floor. He's like, I'm so cold on this floor. I swear to God, I would have helped you if I would have been here. I would have helped you.
So please don't kill me, Sophie.
Don't kill me, Sophie. I remember the first time I saw that, I laughed my ass off, but I laughed all this up too.
I think that's the beauty of this movie is you can watch it. Like I said, I watched it yesterday, and then I watched it again last night and finished it this morning, and I still laughed at the same parts that I did yesterday morning to last night to this morning. And I think that's amazing that you could just turn on a movie and kind of be able to be like, oh man, that's so funny.
It really, you're right. And I don't know if you noticed the little small things like, I know we're skipping around a little bit, but when the grandmother came with her friends to come to the office to bring Alex, some food, and like, do you know where Alex is? And his best friend, whatever, he goes, I don't know. He's definitely not, under his
sleeping under his desk.
Sleeping under his desk, right? And Samantha, who's standing here, he's blocking them. She kind of, the scene isn't even on her. Someone else is talking at this point in time.
Yeah.
You see her take a step towards there and look that direction. Watch that. She sees that's what he's doing because she knew.
And she smiles.
She smiles. Yeah. And she's,
and another time, again, where she's not the focus of the movie whatsoever, is when they're roasting JP in the common room in the beginning of the movie when JP's giving Samantha the tour, and they say something to him, I think maybe in like robot voice, and she just starts laughing. I don't know if that was a genuine laugh because of what was said or just an acting choice, but it was enough to steal the moment.
Yeah, she did that a lot, and it was. I think a lot of these actors when they were roasting and said, I think most of that was ad lib. I don't think any of that was written.
I hope so, because it was very well done.
And when she stole the shit to me, she stole it when she did the karaoke song, and I don't
Oh, yeah.
remember her moving so good and dropping it like it was hot so well and shaking. I'm like, how come I don't remember her just like, oh my god? Of course, she falls over, which was fucking hilarious.
Hilarious. Have you ever been to a party like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. Like,
I
I
was
could
in high
see some
school in the
people.
80s.
Well, I've been to a party like that. Well, I've been to a couple house parties, but I've been to one that was very similar to that one. And it was just so much realism to
Mhm.
my like growing up life, and I appreciated this more so much at 38 because the main character at the time is 36.
Right. I've thrown
So,
parties like this. So maybe not to this extent, but yeah.
um,
And I
but
like you're right, the realism, all these different people showing up, don't know who they are. Some people playing video games, some people singing karaoke, some people just playing cards, just getting high.
even homeboy sleeping under his desk.
Yeah.
That's totally real life. I used to do it all the time.
He
So,
did it all the time.
like, I when I was reading through some of the reviews, some people were like, "Oh, this is unrealistic. Some of these things would never happen," and I was like,
What thing's not gonna happen?
"All of this stuff is very happable, except for
It,
maybe grandma drinking the weed."
yeah, and maybe I mean, and yeah, really hot girl going for the nerdy, not really attractive dude because he's, that does happen. It doesn't happen a lot, and but I
He's
think he's an
confident.
underachiever for her, but
He's a confident guy,
he is a confident guy.
and I think
Oh,
that's what really gets. And I think you had mentioned before, like he has very dude-esque qualities.
yes,
Those
he's
that don't know who
he's
the
pretty
dude
dude,
is, then you need to go watch
the Great Lebowski,
The Big Lebowski.
the Big Lebowski,
I almost said
but he's
Kingdom.
great. Yeah, no,
Uh,
he and then Kevin Nealon's in it. He
mhm.
owns the area, the whole company. And what happens is after all this, it's an hour and 30 minutes. You get an hour of going back and forth, and JP cannot think of his next movie or next game.
Game.
And Alex developed a game. JP has the game and tries to pass it off as his own.
Yes. And then spoilers, Grandma Lily ends
Lily,
up coming to save the day. And I missed that actress. She was so
Doris,
great.
yeah, Doris, somebody, Claiborne, no. I remember her when she was in Wilmington still. But
I remember her from Everybody Loves
Murray
Raymond.
Loves Raymond. I knew that was coming. So that's probably her biggest part. But with that's what I was holding off earlier in the review was okay, why would Alex give JP his property to get notes on? It's like, yes, his notes, he trusts him enough. But they also realized they never really had any kind of bad blood or yelled at each other. Like one scene, but he did not distrust him or thought he was, anything but a genius. He just thought he was quirky. So it made sense. The first time I watched, I was like, why would he do that? But this time I watched it, I was like, well, he didn't really, cross paths with JP much.
No.
So why wouldn't he trust him with it?
Right, exactly. And I mean, the kid developed his first hit game at 13.
Yes.
Like he's a child prodigy, he's been extremely successful. So yeah, that makes, like you said, total sense that he would give this game to JP because he respects him. He may
Exactly.
not like him, but he respects his work.
Right. And I love the fact when they started showing it at the end, like, I mean, it didn't take half a second before Alex goes, oh, wait a minute. That's not his. It wasn't like it played for a while for him to realize it. He knew it, of course, by the name.
Right.
Immediately. I really appreciate it. That seemed pretty realistic too. He's like, no, motherfucker, that's mine. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, fuck Brainasium. I quit. And he just walks away.
Yeah, and then he gets high with his drug
Dante.
I think Dante's the best
And
brother.
the monkey.
And the monkey. Because at the end, he's talking to Kevin Nealon and he's like, man, because he's saying some crazy stuff about his dream. Dude, where do you get your weed from?
You, Dante.
You, Dante. Dante is excellent.
Well, you all heard what we kind of think about the movie. So why don't we go ahead and get into what you all think of the movie with the 5-star and 1-star reviews? The first 5-star review comes from AS. This is one of my favorite movies, and it's not even a good movie, LOL. But somehow it's one of those movies that passes with me. It's entertaining in a stupid way, and sometimes I like that. I think you either love it or hate it. It's just that simple.
You know, Mr. AS, I almost agree with that 1000%. I don't think you either love it or hate it. You either love it or hate it, but you can appreciate it either way. I don't think if you don't love it, don't mean you hate it. The first 1-star review is from Shane Yu. Shocking that it could get good ratings. Definitely need to be stoned to watch it. Nothing interesting happens, and there is no climax or challenge to overcome. Basically, no story, just a week in the life of a complete loser. Okay, Shane was obviously peaked in high school, picked on these nerdy kids, and now he does a remedial job and is being controlled, and his boss is someone that is one of these people.
Either that or he never really lived a life.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this is a dream life. Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, if anything's unrealistic, it's the fact that not everybody can have an amazing job like that.
The most unrealistic part of this movie was the different animals that were being brought into Dante's house.
Except for the monkey. Monkey was probably the easiest of them to achieve.
And one of the lines with there's the chicken. Don't know how it got here.
The next 5-star comes from Pheasant W. The critics need to put down the zombie drugs and take a hit off some dank nugs. Hilarious. So fresh and fun and hilarious. Some of the cameos and the grandma kills it. I made ice cream sandwiches. They're on whole wheat with lettuce. Can't stop laughing.
That was very small, very funny. This man picked it up. That's great. Something we didn't discuss before was one of those side stories was when the young kid had slept with the older lady, and she was the mother in like the Partridge Family, very wholesome.
Yes.
And you're my first. Well, you're my like 3,000.
He rolls over. Oh,
you would have seen this STD I got from Grandma.
You want to see the Silent Hill? The STD from the Silent Hill silent film era.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. The next 1-star review is from Ashley H. Grandma's Boy is a disappointing film. It is about a 35-year-old video game tester who has to move in with his grandma and her 2 old lady roommates, Doris Roberts and Alan Corvette, gave horrible performances. The script is badly written. Nicholas Gosson did a terrible job directing this movie. I was not impressed with the motion picture. That's actually a really good review as why.
My last 5-star comes from Unknown. It's stupid, it's overrated, but it's hilarious at the same time. Convert puts on a show throughout a good chunk of this movie, and it makes me laugh a lot. 5 out of 5.
Convert, is that the name of the actor?
I think so.
Okay, and I don't know if it's overrated because I don't know what the rating is, but okay.
I guess that's true.
Is
it's
it
only overrated if it's a highly rated movie.
right?
It's like the Lord of the Rings. Overrated.
Yes, I love the last one, but yeah. Anyways, we will not watch that on this channel
Ever. No, don't even ask.
No, denied. The last 1-star review is from Ben T. Absolute terrible. I'm not one to take stupid movies seriously, but this was just a terrible movie from start to finish. I couldn't find any redeemable qualities except for the rap during the end credits. The rap was stupidly funny. Just wrapping up the plot of the movie.
Oh, like the 6 months later part?
I think when the credits are going up and he's rapping, so like so and so video test and jerking off on the mom and did it, So it's
Oh,
a recap of the movie. Yeah,
oh,
it's
I didn't
not.
even watch any of that.
No, I didn't either until I read this review and I went back and I'm like,
Oh, the WTF review comes from an unknown. It was a 1 star on December 4th, 2016. We don't have concentration camps anymore, but sitting in the theater with this movie might as well be one.
okay, that's pretty hardcore. Oh, by the way, folks, that I'm not painted. That's I busted my finger. That's not a painted nail, but that's pretty.
I decided to go with one of your WTFs and not the first.
Yes, that's a perfect one.
Now that we've heard from the audience, you at home, let's find out what the critics and the audience scored this movie.
Hmm.
Surprisingly to me, the critics, well, actually, I guess not that surprising, but the critics rated this at a 15%, while the audience, you folks at home, rated this at 85%, which is way more on par for this guy right here. Well done, audience.
I concur. I think the critics are extremely hard on it. I'm not sure what they were looking for, but you know what you're getting. And I am agreeing more with the audience. Obviously, this is made for the audience.
Oh, I completely agree. It's not getting nominated for any awards,
No,
but it would definitely crush one of best comedy in 2006. Maybe, probably not.
no, I don't know. I'm not sure. All the movies made in 2006, but
Well, you had the percentages. Now let's go ahead and let Jason and I tell you what we thought with our rankings of trees. Well, I am going to start off and say I would absolutely recommend this movie to my surgeon. I will recommend this movie to anybody that I think has a sense of humor. I will put that caveat. If you are a serious, person, you probably won't enjoy this movie that much. But if you're lighthearted and you can appreciate a good comedy and just kind of let it go as that, I think you'll enjoy it. I find almost zero plot holes in it, except Jonah Hill and sucking on the boobs of the one woman. I think that was unnecessary, but a rule of thumb on the show: if it's got a wiener or a boob, you get a stump. So because it had some form of frontal nudity, that gets an extra boost, which I didn't think of until now. So what was going to be a 3 tree and a stump movie is now a 4 tree movie. That's how I feel. Jason, what about you?
well, as I said before, I haven't said this before, so let me back up. Well, I would recommend it to my surgeon, and like you said, anyone that has a good sense of humor. You don't put this on trying to like change your world or have an epiphany. It's just to enjoy yourself. And it's a very joyful movie. I've said before, I don't think the acting was great. I don't think the writing was great. I think anyone could have directed this film, basically. But like you said, the chemistry between the characters and the storyline was phenomenal. It saved the movie. There was it seemed like an honest chemistry there with the actors. Um, we talked about, you mentioned the boobs, and that's another thing that Samantha stole the show with, was when he goes, I think you and mammary gland need to leave or whatever, go home. Her facial expression during that whole scene just stole the scene. So, because she wasn't the part of it. But the point is, yes, it's worth half a stump, always. And when I first started watching it, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is probably a 2 tree, one stump movie. Then I started watching it, and I'm like, this is definitely a 3 tree, one stump. But it shoots up a stump because of boobs. So I'm agreeing with Nate for the second time. I am putting a 4 trees onto this movie.
I can't believe it, folks. We matched up again for however many times. If you've been watching every episode, tell us how many times that we've matched. Thank you for sitting down, watching us, walking around, or just playing us in the background. We appreciate every view, every like, every comment. So please drop like and subscribe. I've been Nate. That's been Jason. Until next time, this has been Trees in Space.
What?